So here I was last week working on the car. My old Chinese jack, it didn't work. It would barely raise the car and would start leaking out. I figured, hey, it's not going to pay to put a little seal kit in there. What am I going to do? What does anybody else do who doesn't want to spend the money? They go to Harbor Freight. So I mentioned it to my mother-in-law at the house. She overheard it. She says, hey, my old daddy used to have a jack in the garage. You could have that one. And I said, yeah, right. It's probably something that doesn't even work. It's probably a bottle jack or something. So here she goes, runs into the garage. I walk outside, and she's pulling at this thing, right? It almost looked like a leprechaun pulling a bag of gold. This thing weighs a lot. Look at this thing. She pulls it out. I said, oh my God, this thing's about 30 or 40 years old. And she goes, yeah, but Daddy used to maintain it. He used to put in oil. He used to like clean it, pump it out and everything like that. Do you want it? I said, yeah, well, let me take a look. And then I took a look. It's an old made in Japan jack by Sears Roebuck. I don't know if you can see the model number, but I'll mention it in the video. Apparently these were pretty popular. It's got this awesome green color. Used to be the color of a Stingray bicycle I used to have back in the day. And I'm looking at this thing saying, look at it. Look at this bastard. I can't believe it. How overbuilt these things were. Just look at this thing. So here we go.
1.5 ton capacity, Sears Roebuck & Company, made in Japan, model number 328.12002.
So first thing I do is I go to Harbor Freight and check out what those jacks are like and then compare it. And you wouldn't believe what I found. First of all, this is all steel plate over here. This is this forged cast. I'm sorry, it's cast. Most of the jacks I see nowadays, especially from Harbor Freight, they've all got pressed steel or formed steel, including the chassis. Now, when you press steel, a chassis, usually you have to use a softer grade of steel. These things were actually cut plates and it was bolted together. Look at the size of these pins over here. Amazing. Look at this casting over here. Also cast. And very impressive again. These little stands over here for the back wheels over here, all steel again, cast. Now, it takes a little bit of lubrication. When I got this thing, I put oil over here. I took these pins over here, these circlips over there, took them off, greased it all up, and it works like a charm. Look at this thing. I mean, look at this bastard. It's even got little oil holes over here if you want to put it in the oil every once in a while and make it nice and smooth. And this comes, it's rated at 1.5 tons, but I tell you, when I stick it under my Ford F-150, it lifts it up like it's nothing. Seriously. And I'm looking at the ones at Harbor Freight, they all have kind of like small little plates over here that are bolted on. This one over here is kind of a big heavy casting over here. And it looks like it just comes out so you could use this platform over here to lift up your car as well if you just want to take a certain point that you want to lift it up on. It goes up nice and easy. Now, first thing I thought to myself was, okay, I'm going to have to rebuild this thing. So let me see if it actually lifts anything. I stick it under a small car, lifts it up without a problem. I stick it under a Honda Pilot, lifts it up like it's not an issue. I put it underneath the Ford F-150, no problem at all. It only says 1.5 tons. I don't know why. But anyway, maybe it was the way they rated these back in the day. So the only thing I did was I said, okay, if you take the plug over here out, that's where the fill is over here. The fact that it works so well means it has to have some oil in it. So I took it out. It had nice clean oil in it. I asked my mom-in-law. She goes, oh yeah, Daddy used to maintain this perfectly. You know, every year or so, he used to put in new oil and put in lubricate the joints and everything. So all I do is take some Super Lube grease. That's the best stuff around. You gotta get some of this Super Lube. It's got a really high temperature rating. You could use it on everything from slide pins and calipers to plastic parts to greasing things like this.
If there's one grease you want to have, this is it, Super Lube. Dielectric, it's safe for plastic, it's safe for rubber, it's synthetic, it won't attack anything, it won't swell any rubber boots, nothing. This will take the place without probably 10 other greases that you have at your house. Temperature, minus 45 to 450 Fahrenheit. That's good for high heat applications like slides on your discs, calipers. Did I mention it's dielectric, so it's good for like if you swap out a bulb in your car or something like that, you don't want the connections corroded, just put this stuff on. It's clear, it looks nice, it's not bad, it won't attack any plastics.
Nice and smooth. And that's why this thing works perfectly. Because my dad-in-law, rest his soul, he used to maintain these things the way it should be. He maintained the machine nicely, and it keeps you giving you good service for as long as you live, and probably even a long time afterwards. This thing works like a charm. I am so impressed with it. As you can see from my Harbor Freight walkthrough, the sheet steel is a completely different animal. These things are heavy duty. They were meant to last forever, and they seem to last forever. If you take this guy off over here, of course the handle slides right out, and you could store it or do whatever else you want. And if you look down inside, you can see that big slotted driver over there that you could use to unload, release the valve, and tighten it up as well. This thing, with all the use that it's been going through, shows no wear. Nothing bends these things. It's not disposable. They sell rebuild kits on Amazon for $49.95. You could literally keep this going for another 2 or 3 more apocalyptic events. That's how rugged these things are. In the future, road warriors will probably be using these to repair their vehicles because they just keep on going and going and going. Beyond Thunderdome, this is what it's all about. One thing I really like about this jack is because it's got the narrow wheels, and try and remember this, a lot of the newer jacks are lower profile, so they have really, really fat wheels. This one has the narrow wheels. Why is a narrow wheel good? I'll tell you why it's good. It's good because, make believe, this black base, right, is your tire. If you got a wide wheel, you cannot get close to the tire. These narrow wheels help you get right up along there, and then you could pump it up and get right underneath. And I tell you, when I lifted the truck up on this, nothing flexed, nothing moved, nothing creaked, or nothing shifted. When I had my Chinese jack, granted it was a lot smaller, but it was also a 2.5 ton jack. That thing looked like it was flexing as it went up, which was kind of scary. It never failed me, but it still flexed, and it moved back and it creaked a little bit, and kind of made me fear for my life just a few times. But it also made me appreciate it. This thing over here, this thing, when you put this underneath your car, I mean, you have to worry that your car won't get damaged. That's how strong this thing is. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this bastard. It's unbelievable. I could barely lift this up. That's how heavy this is. All I did was like wipe a little bit of 50-year-old crud on. Some people don't like to wipe the crud on it. They say it gives it character. I wiped most of it off. What I definitely am not going to do is I'm not going to paint this, because I think it looks so cool with this period color over here. It's almost like a metallic green, and you can almost picture like riding down a block with your friends on Stingrays with the metal flake paint and the metal flake seats, and just putting like a balloon in the spokes and just like marauding down like the world was forever going to be good. So again, I'm very happy with this jack. It is so overbuilt, it's unbelievable. I thought there'd be a problem with it being so heavy, but you know what? What you do is you just keep it in your garage, and when the wheels are lubricated, you just roll it all over the place. And because it's got such a long handle, you get way underneath your car. It's way underneath there. And this white dish over here helps because it's easy to see underneath there and know exactly where it's going to contact your car. So yeah, I highly recommend these jacks. It's amazing that these are only rated at 1.5 tons. If you come across this, if you're in a tag sale, garage sale, anywhere, you come across one of these, just grab it. You'll be happy you did. So here we go. Look at this monster here. Look at this bastard. Unbelievable. It weighs almost 100 pounds, but you roll it out, it weighs like nothing. You can only handle it like that because it's got a super long arm over here, just like the service stations used to have. Unbelievable. Just roll it around like it's nothing. Look at this bastard.